Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Tangents with a few tan gents. Nope, you're not getting picked up right now.
Ow,
No, almost. We got the ow.
ow, 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 ow.
Interesting. Is that a wolf or is that a dog howling?
It's a wolf. It's a wolf.
Interesting.
But
Very
it just
interesting.
sounded so weird and dumb, right? So
You know what
it
I
wasn't cutting up.
You know what might be the biggest disappointment for me in recent cinema history?
Tell me.
The Dark Cinematic Universe by Universal.
Oh, Jason, are we going there? Just a little bit.
No, absolutely we can. We're such professionals. Before we go there,
For the people who doesn't know, just go.
before we go there, how good are we at this shit, huh? We almost broke up a few episodes ago. I mean, I would have liked to, but you really wanted me to stick around, and
Yeah, I was begging you.
you begged me. You
Yeah,
went down on
I
your
did.
knees and you were begging me. I thought you
Yeah, I
were
was
gonna do
begging.
something else when you were down there, but that's
You
neither
know.
here nor there.
Possible.
But we were like, hey, I was like, hey, Danny, what do you want to talk about? You're like, yeah, let's talk about that. And I was like, okay, cool. I want to talk about this. And then we're just like, let's go off on tangents. And I was like, let's do it. And your how just sparked something in me to talk about the Wolfman, because
The
I've been
Wolfman.
wanting the last Wolfman was Benicio del Toro's Wolfman. I think Anthony Hopkins was in that one as well. I could be wrong, but I know it was Benicio del Toro. And that was
There are
not
other
good.
ones. There were
Yeah.
other movies, independent movies.
But I
But-
mean, like,
But you know,
because
yeah,
Universal,
Yes.
they're the starters, right? They did Dracula, they did Wolfman, they
Yes.
did The Invisible Man, they did Frankenstein, they did all that whippersnapper stuff. And I think the
Yeah.
Wolfman with Benicio del Toro was
Emily
Universal's.
Blunt was there.
Emily
Emily
Blunt, a young Emily Blunt.
A young. They will be proud of Emily Blunt.
Yes, for those who don't remember, Danny has a big crush on Emily Blunt.
Somebody told me not to say that no more. So yeah.
Denise is what you're saying. But I've been wanting a revival of those movies for some
Well-
time because I like them. I like those style of movies. I like the old school,
Yes.
classic horror movies.
Yes.
And they've just been such. Well, I probably am speaking out of term here because I have also never watched the new Mummy movie, which was going to be one of the first installments into the Dark Cinematic Universe. Did
Wait,
you
which
watch it?
Mummy
The Tom
one?
Cruise one?
Oh, that was supposed to be one of them. The
Yes.
monster. Really?
Yeah, because that one
I-
has Russell Crowe, right?
I don't remember.
I think Russell Crowe's in that one, and I think he was supposed to be the star of Jekyll and Hyde, Dr. Jekyll and Hyde,
Oh.
which is also part of that. I've always wanted to watch it. I think I
Well-
want to this year.
Well, you know that I spoke this before. I said this before that what I used to watch many times. I don't know, and I liked it. What's it called? The Extraordinary Man.
The
Oh
League
God,
of
what's it called?
Extraordinary Men.
Yes.
I don't remember you
That
ever saying
one.
this, but continue.
Yeah, League of Extraordinary Man. I used to watch the movie many times. I thought it was a cool movie. It's a bunch of monsters all together. It's kind of like the Justice League of Monsters, or the Avengers of Monsters.
The Monster
This
Mash.
is- yeah, Monsters Mash, and I love that kind of Victoria era monster. Give it to us. Give it to me.
Give it to him.
But I didn't know the Mummy with Tom Cruise. It was just pure action. It was just action.
I
There
heard
was
it wasn't
not
good.
there was not scary parts of it. I did not see any scary parts. But there was a cool game that came out of it. A 2D platform, yes. There's a Mummy game that's actually a pretty good game
For
that came out during this time.
wait, this
Yeah.
was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They made a game.
2D. It's a 2D platformer.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
But I thought, Jason, the movie that was gonna that started everything was the Invisible Man that came out like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Oh, the yes, the one with the Scientologist girl, I think. I
Yes,
think she's a Scientologist.
I don't know. You told me
I
about it,
can't
but
remember her
I was
name.
This came out 3 years ago. This
She has
is
such
Elizabeth
an
Moss.
actress name too. Elizabeth
Elizabeth
Moss.
Moss.
Yeah.
I thought this was really good, and this is gonna be the start of the invisible. The monster mash you're talking about. But I didn't know the mummy was the one that was supposed to start it.
It was one of the first ones, and I think it was the first one. Um, the Invisible Man was really good.
I,
That show was cool.
yeah, it was really good.
It was a really good way of incorporating new technology, making a remake, and making it make sense with where we're at today with technology. Where, well, I
Yes,
guess, I mean, I don't know how realistic
the
that
reboot.
technology is, but it's really cool, and it was different than just the randomly invisible. I'd actually never seen the original, so I don't know why he's invisible. But
There's many of them, but yeah.
well, I mean the original though, because
Oh, the 1941.
yeah, and I think Ryan Gosling was supposed to be the Wolfman, for this Dark Cinematic Universe. I don't know what they were gonna do with Dracula. That would could have been so cool. I think it would have been cool, man.
It would be really cool.
I
Uh,
I like watching Van Helsing because it is this monster mash of movies. Not because
yes,
it's good, but because
yes.
it's a monster mash of movies
Van
of
Helsing, and
monsters.
also well, for me, it's not the same boat, but similar. Constantine, the
Never seen it.
whole killing monster with you never seen Ken Reeves Constantine?
Mm.
Oh, Jason. Oh, Jason, that's another one I used to own and watch it many, many, many times. Comic book character, by the way, that is supposed to be really good, better than Batman at some points. Some points. Not nobody's can be better than Batman, but it's really good, man. I just love the whole hunting shit. The whole, you're right, the whole monster. Don't watch Dracula to not 2000. Was it
2000. Yeah,
Dracula?
I think so.
Is it no wait? Am I thinking
2000.
the one? No, there's another one.
Because Brett.
Dracula Untold. Untold.
Oh, the one with that one actor. Yes, the newer
Uh,
one.
Luke Evans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I It was just pure action. I get it. I still watched it, but it's not. I know what you mean. This is not what we want.
It's the
Wolfman
problem.
was
We
more.
we need we need directors like Robert Eggers and Ari Aster making these movies because they can. Those movies that were made at that time were very creepy because, as we've talked about before, their scary levels weren't at what they're not watching fucked up shit that we're watching today. So like they would
Mhm.
watch the people from back then would watch the movies we're watching now and they'll like have a heart attack. So Dracula, Frankenstein, those movies were terrifying for them because it was so unheard of. It was new to them.
It was new.
They have, in my opinion, the capabilities. Which now that I'm saying it out loud, I feel. Oh, you know what it is? One of them is making Nosferatu remake.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
I don't remember
I do
who. I think it
remember
was
the
Robert
whole
Eggers.
news
Fact check
tweet
me,
about it.
um, because I'm charging my mouse as we saw in the last. I mean, as we saw last week, I'm still charging my mouse. Um,
Nosferatu supposedly be coming out next year.
did it say director?
Let me check.
Please and thank you. I
It's gonna be Bill Skarsgård.
I was
From
wait
it.
what?
He's
No.
the
He's playing Nosferatu.
Yeah, he's playing Nosferatu, and the director is gonna be Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers. Okay. I
Of
don't
course,
know. I
that's
don't
my
know.
boy.
I don't know if I was just remember that, but they just have the capabilities to make something really creepy and make a Dracula movie, which this isn't. I don't think it's part of any universe, but he's the original vampire, as a contrary to popular belief. Because
Uh,
Nosferatu's from the 30s. That movie's from like the 20s or 30s. So
oh god, how am I blanking now? Count Dooku's actor.
Count
Um,
Dooku, Star Wars. You
what's his name?
uh
Famous actor.
yeah.
What's his name? Oh
Doesn't
god,
matter. Doesn't matter. He wasn't the
he
original.
he played but he played Dracula for many years for many movies.
Yeah. Those are
Uh,
those are like the direct remakes of the original
Christopher
Dracula.
Lee. I don't know. Yeah.
His movies are pretty much the books version. I've
Yes.
seen I
Yeah.
think the
Yes, you're right.
first two of Christopher Lee's, and they're of their time. I think they're still fun enough to watch. They're not scary by any means, but they're fun enough
No.
to watch.
They're like,
Yeah,
like the
which is
whole.
scary to them.
It's
If
scary to them, yeah.
hold on, for the people who are not watching this on YouTube and just listening to it, Danny just he flung his arms up. You like this? You're not watching it again. I'm sorry. He flung his arms up and he has his mouth open like he has fangs, and he's like blah. You know what I mean? So imagine
Yeah, I'm Dracula.
I want to suck your blood.
I want to eat those Choco Puff, those cereal, Count
Uh,
Dracula.
the Choco, what are they called? Count Chocos,
Choco or wherever. Oh
whatever they're
man,
called.
I used to have the triple pack. My mom used to
Count
get the triple
Chocula,
pack, which is the
Count
mummy or the ghost, and then the Dracula. Do you remember those
Yeah,
cereals?
yeah. They still come out every year.
I haven't seen it since then.
They
Wow.
do. They do. I
Okay.
promise you.
Okay.
Danny, stop it! I promise you.
Okay.
So, anyways, those directors, I think, they can make those movies, make them scary again, and make them creepy, and keep with that consistency, and not these big old action flicks that I don't. I guess there's a market for them, but that's not what they're supposed to be. That's not what they were back then, and I think it'll be a lot more fun with Robert Eggers making Nosferatu. I saw I've seen the original, Danny, and
It's not good. It's not good.
no, it's great. It's great. I'm laughing.
No. It's not good for this time. But if you
Oh,
go with the mind that
no,
you
no,
no.
it is
If you go
still
with
good.
Jason, I know what you mean.
No,
But
Danny,
for
I know what you're saying. I know what
okay,
you're saying.
okay,
Okay, okay.
okay.
I'm gonna stop this because I was purposely continuing to talk over you because I saw you raise your hand and I was being a jerk. I want to apologize also for the last podcast because I came off a little strong. I got a message from Walter. He said, "Hey, dude, you came off too strong on that one." I was like, "All right, my bad." He's shaking his head over there. Remember, you could talk.
I don't think he ever.
Sorry, Dan. Danny, you
I
could
don't
go
think
ahead.
he ever
You
said
could
them.
go
He's
ahead.
just playing Zelda right now. But uh, I'm watching
No, I
Nosferatu.
I heard everything. Yeah, no, yeah, I didn't say any of that.
Prove it.
That is all.
What I wanted to say, Jason, Robert Eggers, I saw the movie The Witch. I think me and Denise I on Netflix. I think it was on Netflix, right? And I watched the movie, and I watched it a week after or 2 weeks after, I remember, but I watched it again.
No
I
spoilers,
watched this
please.
movie 3 times, and it's just it. You're right. It doesn't need to be. He has he has the idea. I like that his idea with it doesn't need to be a freaking uh you know technical Hollywood movie. And I think he's becoming one of my favorite. I love The Northman. People did not like the movie. I saw a lot of critics didn't like it. I enjoyed it. The Lighthouse, black and white movie, got me to watch a black and white movie.
Nothing wrong with
I
that,
don't
Danny.
like black and white movies.
You get used to it. You should try it more often.
I know. I need to
I
get
think
more
part
used
of
to it
Oppenheimer
because.
is black and white.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I mean, we're still gonna watch. It's 3 hours long, apparently.
Good.
Yeah, good. So they need to make this type of movie, Jason. They need to make. Yeah, you're right. This Victorian era. This, I don't know. I love
So-
Victorian era stuff.
I don't think it's Victorian era, and
No, I know.
people get picky about that sort of thing, about like being Victorian era and what is and isn't. It's got to be from that specific era. Diana could talk to you all about it. There's people who get upset with costume designers because the movie is based on we'll just say Victorian era, but then they dress them up in a different sort of era, and people get really upset about that.
So Victorian era is, strictly speaking, Victoria era began in 1837 and ended in Queen's Victoria death in 1901. So technically, it's only what less than 70 years.
Not that long ago.
That time, yeah, not that long ago. So
Not 70, Danny. That's about 200 years ago.
no,
Almost
talk
200.
about between how long
the
it
length
lasted.
of it. I got you.
Yeah.
So before I cut you off, before you could cut me off, I was Nosferatu holds up. I remember watching this about maybe now like 6-7 years ago, but I remember watching it in the dark, and it's a silent film. It's a black and white silent film, and it somehow was creepy. It was like I felt like the picture you looked it up right now. Not you looked Nosferatu right now. I see it in your
The
eyeballs.
trailer, you can see the whole movie right now is remaster on
So
Best Classics.
an image you're
Uh,
probably gonna see is the shadow of Nosferatu. It's a creepy
yeah,
shadow.
yeah.
That thing is actually kind of creepy. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's just music and you reading, so it kind of feels like you're. For me, it felt like I was more engulfed in it, and it was. I
Mm-hmm.
felt it felt eerie. It felt creepy, and it felt like Nosferatu was always watching me. And I was not expecting that at all.
You were not
I went in there thinking, this is gonna be a 1920s movie. I know what I'm getting myself into. Is it 1920s? 1918?
1922. It's 100
1920.
years last year. It was
Oh
100
shit!
years last
Wow.
year in March.
Probably why they remastered it. So I remember going in with that mindset, and then still being surprised that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't just a boring bore fest of reading and not
It it,
non-scary effects.
it immerses you. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
It does immerses you. Just watching it right now. I decided because of school. I think. Yeah, because I forgot what art class I had or something, and I forgot we saw it. Um, but I guess I had to watch it again just by myself because you're right. It does. It will immerse me just by watching it, paying attention to it with just the music and just reading, what it said. And then you're right. That shadow part, it is pretty scary if you think about it.
It's not scary. It's just creepy.
Eerie, eerie,
It feels like he's just always there, like he's lurking.
and the costume design.
It's cool, creepy looking guy, man. The
Yeah.
guy's creepy looking. I don't know.
What,
But
what are we
anyways,
talking about?
Robert Eggers is I think he's gonna knock this movie out of the park. If people could suspend their disbelief for a little bit on Dracula not being the only vampire you can make movies on, even though I know there's Twilight and a bunch of other, but I mean for this style of vampire movie. Usually vampire movies that are not Dracula are action packed, except for Dracula Untold, which is action packed.
Do you knew that there's kinky sex people who are they pretend to be vampires
Yes.
and they wanted to suck blood
Yeah.
during sexual encounters?
You're not into that?
I didn't know that until I was listening to the radio, those second day updates.
Yes, your
And this
classic.
guy was calling why the girl's calling. It's like why he's not calling me, and the guy answers. He's like, because she wanted me to literally bite her until blood was coming out, and then she wanted me to do in the middle of what we're doing, and then I was like not really okay, and she's like, do it. Why are you taking so long? And the girl had no idea why he wasn't calling him. I mean, her.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I
I'm not surprised. There's a thing for
Yeah.
everything.
I guess, yeah. You know what? I'll be surprised. There's a thing for mummies
Mmm.
being mummified. Pretend being mummified.
Interesting.
Is
I
that
think
new-
you're onto something.
Do I just create a new kinky?
I think so.
Okay.
You
All
know,
right.
I I want to go.
Trademark it.
I want to go to Egypt. Look at all the
Cool.
sarcophagus. Someone help me out with this word because I know it. I just can't think of it right now with my mushy
Say it
brain.
again. Say it again.
Sarcophagus. Let me think of the Kanye West lyric. As in a sarcophagus. How was that, Junior?
Sarcophagus.
Good enough.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to go see all those things.
It's crazy, Jason, though we still don't know what the pyramids were really meant for. We
They
have
were
an
just-
idea. Jason, they still
Danny.
don't know. There's no true evidence. And this is not conspiracy, by the way.
Danny,
This is
come
not
on.
conspiracy,
They were there
Jason.
for like decoration. They look cool.
Yeah, they're gonna look okay. It, it's just so much. It's not just Egypt. If you go to the history of Egypt, Jason, you can learn it with that movie that came out.
With that movie.
Gods of Egypt. Have you seen the movie?
No, I never watched it. It's got the guy from Game of Thrones, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Gods of Egypt. I was watching that on my BR with. Anyways, that would be a cool trip. Listen,
You were watching Gods of Egypt on your VR.
I was watching Gods of Egypt because it was free, and I just like, oh, that's pretty cool, and then I was like, whoa, okay,
That
you
just
know.
so it's weird because I feel like you bring up Egypt and you always hear about people saying it's scary to go to Egypt right now because they're
Yes.
going through contentious political disruptions, and then you would hear actual Egyptians or people from that region, and they're like, "Oh no, it's fine, you could go," but then it's like, "Wait, but what if it is scary? Like I don't want to go.
It
Like
they
I don't
say
know what's
that if
going
you
on,
don't,
but."
yeah,
Mhm.
tourist people can get robbed really easily. Apparently, there's a lot of robbing on tourist people because they can tell who's a tourist and who's not. There's a lot of things, and also Egypt is not just. I mean, Cairo. There's a lot of spots that are like ruins. You can see the ruins. It's not just one spot.
Mhm.
So you will have to plan this really well if you want to see everything that has been discovered because a lot of things have not been discovered yet. We still don't know where Alexander the Great library is at. We know it burned down.
Oh, it's
It
gone
went
now.
down, but they don't know where exactly did it go down. I think, from what I remember. So,
You ever think about those historical geographical areas and how it must be so much of nothing now because it's been hundreds of years? So it's like it doesn't matter if that's where it happened. It's just it's so different now. It's been tainted within time through
yeah,
time. It's just like yeah, Alexander
erosion.
the Great's library was burned there, but okay. No, like not to just like completely discredit or poo poo on your fascination with whatever happened there because I think it is cool idea. I'd like to see that, but then it's also well, we don't know where it happened, where it burned, but I guess it doesn't kind of matter.
When it matter is they find it only until they find it. You're right. It doesn't
But
matter right now
so
until they find it.
will it matter if they find evidence? Or I guess that's the only way to find out to know where it
Yeah.
exactly happened. Okay. Okay. So I wasn't thinking of it that
And
aspect.
the problem is they build where the housing of people and apartments and stuff like that on top of it, so they can yeah.
You ever think if you were to dig in your backyard, you'll find a dinosaur fossil? You never think
No,
about that? I think about that all the
no.
time. It's like you
You
could be
have to be
so
really
close.
deep though.
You don't. I mean,
65
maybe.
million years ago. You
I
know
don't
how much dirt there is 65 million years ago?
know.
Think about it. Look it up. 65 million years ago. You'll have to dug deep to find that.
But what
Sometimes you
if
do find bones on top because erosion or something, or there were in a
there's a
mountain,
drought?
there was a
There's a
hill.
drought over here in California. I think it might be easier than we think.
You might be right. You know?
Think about the beginning of The Exorcist. That they weren't too deep.
Oh,
They were about 10
yeah,
feet
that's
under.
true.
You know
That is true.
what a weird start of a movie for
Yeah,
like what that one movie was.
because it's kind of releasing the demon. A
Yeah,
demon that they was sealed by some Egyptians apparently.
yeah. That was
So,
it was
but
just so weird.
Christianity is the only one that took it down. And that's a weird thing too.
You know what? I've started
It's
that movie
Egyptian
like
God.
hmm.
But I'm saying Egyptian. It was because that movie was the demon was like kind of like oppressed by Egyptian ideal and ideology and religion, but Christianity religion was the one that kind of suppressed it. So it's just any religion can suppress demons. It's just faith. So is faith their enemy?
I think it's that faith in a positive higher being can defeat the negative lower being. Get it? Because hell is low, Junior. You get it? You get it. Um, I've started The Exorcist. Like every time I start it, I'm always like, shit, did I put on the right movie? Because this just
Yeah,
starts off
because
so weird.
yes,
It's happens almost every time. It's so
and it takes a
strange.
while to get there.
Yeah, but when it gets there, it's
Because you
scary,
get to
isn't it?
you get to from whatever the Egypt part, and then you get to the mom.
The little
You know,
girl and
she's
the
an
mom.
actress or whatever. She's doing like a movie or something like
Mhm.
that. And then you get to the daughter, and then you get to the problem they have with their husband or wherever, you know.
You remember this movie well.
And I recently saw it. That's why.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Topical.
Yeah.
Topical, not tropical. Speaking of tropical, that's where all these bums in the NBA are going. All these losers.
Yeah, that's a switcheroo.
You like that segue? Terrible segue. I just feel like you
Jason,
got nothing else to say unless you
yeah,
did.
tell me about what's going on because you've been wanting to. You told me about this, and you've been wanting to show your.
No, I don't want to
We're
show
switching.
anything. Let's not go that route. I just want to talk
Okay,
about
okay.
it with you. I
You
just
wanted
want
to
talk
talk
about it
about.
with you because I just think it's very entertaining what's going on with the NBA right now. I think a lot of fun stuff is going on with the NBA, and I feel like you don't know about it. But I want to talk about the drama side of things. Everyone knows the headlines. Everyone knows the Lakers lost now again. They're down 3-0. By the time this releases, they might even have gotten swept. Maybe, Danny. Don't look at me like that.
Maybe,
I don't know.
yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But the other headline is John Morant. This idiot John Morant. I'm about a week late here, but I don't care. By the time this releases, maybe 2-3 weeks late. But I don't care. Because, look, Danny. This boy, 23-year-old boy, young kid, young. We got to remember this. We got to remember that he is a growing adult. You know, he's
gonna fully develop.
He hasn't fully developed mentally, and he's still working on it. But the immaturity with this kid is insane because he has once again been caught in an Instagram live video with a gun
I'm
on
watching
his
it
cheek.
right now.
And whoever is recording this, his friend, has better judgment because he quickly navigates the phone away from John Morant because he understands that this is stupid what John Morant is doing.
And he's driving, by the way. He was driving.
No,
or something?
I think
He was
who is
parked.
driving?
It looked like he was driving. I see the.
John Morant, again, a kid. He could know better. He probably should know better. I still believe maybe we shouldn't kick him out right away. Not kick him out, sorry. But he shouldn't get pushed to the side the way the NBA might right away. But let me give you a little bit of background, Danny. In case you forgot, not only you but the listeners. Earlier this season, John Morant has gotten into some bad spotlight stuff. If you remember, he sent his buddies and himself to the mall because his mom was she was complaining about something at a finish line, and they had the security guard.
Oh yes.
She calls John Morant. John Morant rose up with 9 homies for whatever reason. Not a good look. No unnecessary. No big deal. Nothing bad happened. He has a pickup basketball game at his house sometimes where it's for the community, for the young kids. There's a 17-year-old boy who was talking shit or something. And there's video of him talking to the cop now. The kid talking to the cop. And what happened there was John Morant got to his face and punched him, went into his house, came out with a gun. And then he was caught at a strip club with a gun at the strip club.
Yeah.
I don't remember what, like, big deal. He's at the strip club, but he was shirtless, had a gun at the strip club. Just so many.
Like
bad
throwing
moves.
money everywhere, or just money everywhere.
There's money on the floor, all over the floor.
Yeah.
But it's just a bunch of bad image. Oh, and then there was also a laser getting pointed out of a vehicle that he was in into the opponent, which was the Pacers vehicle. So some Pacers player, I think it was, they were pointing the laser. We don't know if it was a gun. That's not confirmed or denied, but it was a laser. It's assumed that it was a weapon. Just because, again, John Morant keeps finding himself in these situations. And there are people like Jalen Rose, who is a sports commentator, a basketball commentator, and I forget who else, or JJ Redick, are kind of in support of this kid because they're saying, hey, you know what? He just doesn't have guidance. He needs to find the guidance. He needs to find somebody to point him towards the right direction, that this is not the way to do things. You are 23 years old. You're a high-flying superstar, and you keep getting yourself in trouble. So Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA, sits down with the kid, sends him to rehab for 8 days, Danny. 8 days only.
Yeah, like that's gonna be enough.
let's get him back out there for the postseason. Let's get him out there for the playoffs because
I
guess
think it was
what?
just for the okay. We need to stop people talking about this. We need to prove that you're doing something about it.
So no, I think Adam Silver legitimately had a conversation with him, and I think he wants to help him because he's known to be the commissioner for the players. He wants to help players, and um, he wants to listen to the players' needs and wants, and
Okay.
he is going to try to abide by them as much as possible. If you remember, during the bubble era during the COVID, there was a lot of racist stuff going around, and a lot of basketball players wanted to show their support. So the Celtics, Bucks, I believe, I could be wrong on the players, but on the teams, they walked out of the game. They said, we are not playing because we don't like what's going on outside of the bubble in the U.S. They met up with Adam Silver. The National Basketball Players Association met up with Adam Silver, and then they discussed on how do we get you guys back on the court. They decided they're going to put messaging on their jerseys. Let's move on. Anyways, that's to tell you that Adam Silver is the commissioner for the people, for the players. Anyways, I do theorize though that yes, it was just for images because after John Morant comes back, he's like 3 games in, and then I'm like, wait a minute, didn't John Morant come back? And he did, but you probably didn't see him in House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, all that blah blah blah.
Ooh,
You
so
didn't
they
see
kind
him on there
of
as much, but he's
unless
still
you
making
saw
the
it
plays.
live.
You can see it live, obviously, yeah, but like in
Okay.
highlights, which is how most casual basketball viewers get
Yeah.
their information.
Me. Yeah.
Instagram, the Instagram highlights.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. I don't love it, but I understand it's a good way to grow the NBA. It's just not a good look because you're picking and choosing what to put out there, and that's going to change point of views on how a player's performing. Because you could put a John Morant highlight of him dunking over 2 people, but then but they lost by 20 points, and it's like, oh, well, that's burying the lead a little bit.
Some of them, they are misleading because you think, oh my god, they're doing so good, and then it was a lost game.
Yeah, a lot of
It was just
Lonzo
the highlights
Ball.
that they did.
A
Yeah.
lot of Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
The Instagram, social media loves Lonzo Ball. He was injured for like half the season, but you knew when he came back because he was on highlights.
It's just people. Yeah, a lot of youngsters. That's their MJ.
They gravitate.
That's their LeBron.
I don't know. They gravitate towards him. But anyways, he was weird that John Morant wasn't on highlights as much anymore. Until some time passed by, then people forgot about it because we are in a news age where there's news every damn minute, and we just got to get past it. We got to forget about it. Until very recently, Danny, he's in this Instagram video, puts a gun in his face, and now things are real. He was supposed to have a pair of shoes, a new signature shoe releasing.
Which they look pretty cool. The
You like 'em?
colorway.
You like them? Okay.
Yes. But nobody's gonna buy it
Discontinued right
anymore.
now. They're not discontinued, but they're not on the Nike Finish Line website anymore. So it's like, ooh, which also we famously saw Nike took Kyrie Irving off of their contract. So he's been out. So people are theorizing this could mean John Morant is out of a Nike contract. That's a lot of money he's about to lose on. That's long contracts. Danny. Nike gives long contracts to the NBA players. LeBron, I believe, signed like $1 billion contract. So John Morant is really
He lost it.
fucking up. Adam Silver says, I don't know what to do with him anymore. Pretty much, not verbatim, but he's pretty much saying, I don't know what to do. Like this. What do you do with him? He is indefinitely suspended. He's going to miss, people think, half of the beginning of the next season. This is a team that isn't bringing back Dillon Brooks, a young, scrappy team that was trying to make the grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies team that was Zach Randolph's and Marc Gasol's and Mike Conley, Tony Allen. This team that could have been so much better. This was supposed to be that, but better. And now we have Dillon Brooks poking the bear, and LeBron literally killing his contract, so he is not going to be back with the Grizzlies. Jimmy Butler's doing the same thing with Grant Williams, but I'll get on that in a second. John Morant over there doing this stuff. Young kids, and they're just messing up. I think they've been finding so many coaches these past few days, and I feel like they need to get a coach that's going to be a character-driven coach. So Doc Rivers, maybe, even though I know he doesn't win Game 7.
He just got fired, right?
He just got fired because he once again lost in the Game 7. But
Can it be?
yeah,
I feel like bad for that guy because every time I'm a casual NBA, and every time I see he's, they do good for the first season, when the season starts, and then they mid-season, but they can never finish. He can never finish unless it's his tactics. But most of them say it's just the players. At the end, is always the players.
the casual viewers are going to think it's Joel Embiid's fault for not performing. James Harden definitely, they do take blame. Don't get me wrong, they should take blame as part of it. But Doc Rivers, he's been criticized before, not only by his teammates but other coaches, that he sticks to one state of mind throughout the whole game. His in-game tactics don't change. They don't adjust to what the other team is bringing.
Whenever it's happening.
Yeah, he's a good coach, but he is an old school coach, and something's not working. Something's not working with the guy, and he needs to figure it out. But I can't remember his name for the Grizzlies. He needs to get that damn team together, because they are watching us. Good young team. They could have been like the Thunder, but better. The Thunder that had Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook when they made it to the finals. Serge Ibaka and Kendrick Perkins when they made it to the finals and then lost to the Heat. They could have been like that, but better. And I was just slipping away. It's just slipping away because these kids are just doing some weird stuff.
They just...
They're criticizing John Morant because they're saying he wants to be like Allen Iverson in the sense of in regards to being like the bad boy, I'm a little bit, what's the word, hood? I'm a little bit gangster.
But he's not hood, right? He came from a good family, right?
He came from a private school. He came from a gated community, I believe, where he probably didn't get into a lot of trouble. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I'm going to anyways, I guess, because I have a podcast and don't know what we're talking about. We just pretend like we do. But I don't think he's like that. I don't think he's gangster like that. He just likes to be. He likes to pretend he is.
You know what I think it happens? He probably just like... Do they get checked by drugs? NBA players? They don't, right?
They get random drug tests for performance enhancement drugs, and I think they just recently stopped testing for weed. I don't know if they get tested for other drugs.
I think he just hangs out with the friends, that you see them recording him, the friends, and they just put music, and he's just smoking. He's like, yeah, hype up at the moment, and he just forgets everything, and he's like, I'm the shit.
Well, some people say part of the problem is that he drinks a lot. They think some people think he might have an alcohol abuse problem, and the thing is, they also didn't really exactly say what he went to rehab for. I think they called it an alcohol issue, but you can't go to... I don't know very well, but you go to rehab for 8 days if you have alcohol abuse problem and you're good? That's weird. It's weird.
Damn.
But John Morant needs to get it together because he's a superstar. He's on highlights because he is amazing to watch. He is a very, very fun young player to watch. And
does he remind you of Derrick Rose?
Yeah, I can see it. He's
the way he plays.
He has better potential just because his knees and his legs work
are better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has more potential, especially being at 20. I guess Derrick Rose was like 21, I think, when he won his MVP. I think it was. If Jonathan was here, he could correct me. Right? He'll probably know. They were both high flyers, and their shots aren't great. They don't have a good jump shot,
It's just the way he attacks
But they
the rim. The way
Mhm.
he just goes for it, just like it looks fun. It looks fun I mean, it looks fun to watch when they
It
go
is fun to
over
watch.
LeBron. They go over big, what's his name? The guy from the Utah Jazz,
Oh, Rudy
Johnny.
Gobert.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
not there anymore though. He's with the Minnesota
but he just
Timberwolves.
goes dunk on those big guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks fun.
It gives
But
it gives shorties like inspiration. It gives the normal. This is why the shorter point guards get popular, because we can kind of see it in ourselves. Like, see, fuck those 7-footers.
yeah.
That's enough about
Okay.
John Morant. I want to talk a little bit about Jimmy Buckets. Him eat Butler. This guy's tearing it up, Danny.
What do you want to? What do you want to? What are you talking about?
So I want to talk about how
Oh, he said he was gonna do it.
another occasion of poking the bear, because unfortunately I haven't been able to watch the past 2 games. I didn't watch game 3 of Lakers and Nuggets, and I didn't watch game 2 of Heat Celtics. I was keeping up with the score, and I get home and I tried to watch highlights, and I tried to watch some of the post game interviews, and Grant Williams from the Celtics basically did the same thing Dylan Brooks did. And my problem is these damn young kids these days who are just coming over here poking the wrong damn bear every time.
I
Doing
I saw
nothing
that.
about it. You get Jason Tatum poking the bear, that makes sense. You are one of the best basketball players in the world. Jason Tatum has permission. Grant Williams is a role player. He's a role player. Like, why are you getting in Jimmy Butler's face if you're not stopping him? You're trying to stop him? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You're trying to stop him. Okay. Like, you're a defender. You got to do what you think will work. But it's Jimmy Butler. And Danny, I saw a Twitter thread of what transpired after Grant Williams got to Jimmy Butler's face, and it was just Jimmy Butler scoring on Grant Williams, like 5 possessions.
It says on this from the Atlantic, the Athletic, Heat's journal. Jimmy Butler amid Celtics Grant Williams feel him, and he said, "I like that."
Jimmy Butler's like that. Jimmy Butler is.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then what's a popular? Okay, I'm not trying to change it, but what's a popular time that the person that they feel, for example, Michael Jordan had a lot of those moments, right? In the Kobe Bryant, where
Muhammad
they're like,
Ali.
"Oh, Muhammad Ali, yes,
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, the famous invading."
There's a lot of when he dodged like
Yeah,
20
he does
punches
like
in a row.
21 punches in a
Something
row.
like that, yeah.
But I'm talking about in basketball. It's just
There's
yeah.
one of the famous ones is, if I'm remembering this correctly, Reggie Miller scoring after Spike Lee tried to call him out. I think this is the one. I think this is the famous one of Spike Lee, obviously courtside, and telling
I'm
Reggie
looking right
Miller
now,
that
yes.
he's choking. He goes like this.
1994
He
playoff.
goes like this.
Yeah.
He was like that. That's Reggie Miller's pose, but Spike Lee antagonized that. He poked the bear. Reggie Miller was a damn baller. He was the best shooter alive before Stephen Curry came. It was the best shooter ever before Stephen Curry came around. Was Reggie Miller. Different style because it is 90s, right? You said 94?
90s style, yes. I'm looking right now,
So
yeah.
it's different. He's more of a spot up shooter, not nearly as good of, well, Stephen Curry's the best shooter of all time, so he wasn't nearly as good of pull up shots, but he poked the bear. He said, "Reggie Miller, you're choking." What did Reggie Miller do? Not choke. Knocked them out of the playoffs. That's a good occasion of poking the bear. But the past 2 of Dylan Brooks poking, he said, "I like poking the bear." Then he poked LeBron James, and then they got knocked out of the playoffs. He was quiet. Danny, LeBron made sure Dylan Brooks isn't getting a contract by outperforming. Dylan Brooks could have got a contract. Offensively, he's not good. But defensively, there's always a spot for a player on a team.
Yeah, because they want somebody to be in the back in defending.
Yep.
So is he like a new player, right? He said,
I don't know how old he is. They're young. The Grizzlies are one of the younger teams.
okay.
I'll guess 24 years old. I don't know for sure though.
Damn.
Dylan Brooks, yeah.
Damn.
Grant Williams did the same the other night. I think it was last night now, but yeah, he got up right at Jimmy Butler's face, and he just kept scoring on him. They would make a play, he just scoring them. They get a different defender on them. They switched, and then he get Grant Williams, and he scored on them. Then they won both games away in Boston. The next two
What?
games are going to be in Miami. Like, they completely lost home court advantage. The Celtics did. They are. What a choke job if they lose this.
Why do they do that? Why do athletics they do that? I don't get it, to be honest. In soccer or any sports, they go up to the person, oh, you suck, I got you, and the game is not over, and that's when you know the adrenaline, the mentality of I'm gonna focus right now. It
Well,
goes to
some
the players
people,
and they get
some people don't take
trash
to it
talk too
well.
much.
No, some people don't take to it well. Some people will listen to the trash talk and not step up. So that's where I'm saying, like, he poked the wrong bear. Like, you can't poke the wrong bear. Jimmy Butler. I'm not the one. Like, this isn't my original take, but I'm starting to see it since I heard it. Is Jimmy Butler is the next Jordan? Is Jordan is what people saw in Jordan. He turns it on when he needs it. People need it. He's going to turn it on. He's a midfield, a mid-range specialist. He gets the shot he wants. He is what offensive or the other team is scared of. And that's what Jordan was. He was a mid-range magician. He was good defensively, and so was Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is one of the best two-way players of all time. And he could guard anybody he wants. Sometimes he doesn't, but he could go and guard whoever he wants. And then he could just go out there and he's like, hey, Jimmy, go get a bucket. All right. Don't call me Jimmy Buckets for nothing. So he looks like Jordan. And it's funny because Jason Tatum is such a Kobe. He loves Kobe to a very, very annoying amount.
Didn't he say that was his best favorite player, right?
A lot of people's favorite player, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kobe famously completely mimicked Michael Jordan. Like, he was his idol, and he was the closest thing we ever saw. Not ever, but he was the closest thing we've seen to Michael. But Jimmy Butler is sure playing like it. Jason Tatum wishes he was, but boy, his spirits look crushed. I don't like that guy, anyways. So good riddance.
This is a thing. I don't know if we're gonna get to the topic, Jason, but I feel like a lot of players now, and I don't know if this happened. It was not really talked before, back in the '90s or early 2000. The mentally how crushed now new players are getting. Stars that used to be stars. What was the Sixers star? Oh God, that used to be really good. God, I forgot his name. He was dating somebody, one of the Kardashians.
Blake Griffin?
No, not Blake Griffin.
Ben Simmons.
Yes, him.
Oh.
How, I mean,
Injuries.
people were saying he was really good, and after that he lost confidence or something.
It's so weird. It's so weird to see it, Danny, because no one can pinpoint what happened. So everyone just says it's lack of confidence. He's lost his confidence, and if you see him play, you'll be like, okay, yeah, that guy is not confident in anything he does on the basketball court. It was the next Magic Johnson, essentially. He's a 6'6" point guard, I think 6'6", 6'5", something like that. Magic Johnson 6'6", 6'7". So is that right? He was around that range. So these are tall point guards, and Ben Simmons is a better defender though. Ben Simmons can guard all six if you want to, similar to Jimmy Butler. But Ben Simmons on the perimeter was really good. He could go. He's a rim to rim basketball player. He could take the ball and just go lay it up real quick, get a steal, lay it up, dunk it, whatever. Now he's passing up layups to a pat and just dishing it out. His confidence is crushed.
I will easily say, oh, just buckle up and get to it, but I don't know what really happens. I mean,
it's psychological.
It's just pressure. I mean, these are people who are getting paid a lot of money to play a game, and all you have to do is focus on the game.
But
some of them, they just get tired.
Danny,
maybe.
Imagine You keep getting injured. You keep getting told your shot is trash. You keep getting told you got to fix it, your shot, and you keep getting told he's not good enough anymore. And then you go up to the free throw line, and you start thinking about it. Shit, if I miss this free throw, what's the criticism going to be? If I miss this free throw, are the fans gonna start booing? My own fans, the people that are rooting for my team.
Yeah.
If I miss this free throw, it's just a fucking free throw. And I mean, I'm not gonna go over there and score a free throw. I recognize that, but you're at the line. It's one of the easier shots you can make. And if you can't make that, that's just like shit. Like, imagine being in that position, Danny. Like, if I don't make this free throw, people are gonna talk so much trash on me, and they're gonna say that I am not good at anymore.
I don't know. That sucks. I mean, that's happened to what's his name? The Knicks back in 2015. Oh god, what's his name? He used to be, from one season he was really good, and after that, he got traded to the Toronto. Oh god, what's his name? It was really popular for a time. I forgot his name, but he came up, really popular. He was doing, he was playing really well, and then after that, you don't hear him. I'll look it up. Like I said, I'm
not sure. I'm not sure what you're talking about. It's happened many times. One of the most heartbreaking ones is Greg Oden. He was for the Portland Trail Blazers. He was. Did you find him?
No.
Greg Oden was drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers the same year that Kevin Durant was drafted number 2. So the Blazers took Greg Oden number 1. Supersonics of Seattle took Kevin Durant number 2. Trailblazers were like, we'll get a big man. Big men are a hot commodity at that time, especially where you could get a good one and you could hang with the best. They took Greg Oden, and his knees are worse than Derrick Rose's. This poor guy, I feel so bad for him because there's a video that circulated where this old lady, who's obviously doing like some sort of YouTube video, goes up to Greg Oden, who looks like he's at a university somewhere in Portland. He looks like he still lives in the area. And she asks him, "Wow, you're tall. I bet I could beat you in a game of basketball. Did you used to play?" Something like that. And Greg Oden was like, "Yeah, I used to." And then like he walks away and he's just looking down, looking so sad. Yeah, it's heartbreaking to see that because he could have been one of the best centers, but injuries, man. And then also on the Trailblazers side, they were this close of getting Kevin Durant. Imagine pairing Damian Lillard with Kevin Durant. Jeez, that offense would have been unstoppable.
That's another player the people here love. Not Kevin Durant, sorry. Damian Lillard, because his mentality is like, he focused on playing the game. I don't know why people don't follow that kind of mentality. If you become a new player, you're like, okay, I'm going to follow Stephen Curry mentality. Work.
Well, they like Damian Lillard because he's loyal. And
I don't think he should be. Even I say, I'm like, you should go somewhere else, man.
Well, the reason you and most don't think so, and not to say that I don't, because it gets weird, but we've been every freaking argument is always, yeah, but who has more rings? Every NBA argument is who has more rings, who has more championships, and it's such a lame metric to decide who's the best basketball player of all time because there's so many damn outlets and so many damn things to look at to make some sort of decision. You'll never come to a real decision because it's all about perspective and it's subjective on who the best basketball player of all time is. In my opinion, it's LeBron James, but a lot of people think it's Michael Jordan because he has 2 more rings. But we're going to use that logic. Bill Russell has about 12. So I don't know what we're doing here. Like, I don't know how you could just continue pointing to titles for your argument when Michael Jordan doesn't have the most. How many times did he lose in the playoffs before making the finals? Yeah, he made it to the finals 6 times and he won all 6 times. It's a great achievement. But he lost in the first, second round many, many times. LeBron's about to lose his second time. Yeah, I think only his second time before making to the finals. And at 38 years old. That
38.
longevity,
That's the crazy thing about it.
the longevity of that man is crazy. Still putting up great numbers. Even if he's taking like the second option now. He's kind of looks like he finally wants. AD looks like he's living up to it. But anyways, it's the whole championship mentality. The reason Damian Lillard won't get his flowers at the end of the career, they always get their flowers. But after that, he won't be recognized as the best point guard because he never won a ring.
He never got that ring.
And
If he
that's
got to at least
BS.
2 rings, we'd be like one of the best ever.
If he got one,
Damian Lillard.
I think today people would still say Derrick Rose is a better basketball player than Damian Lillard.
A lot of people like him,
wouldn't
not
agree.
even non-Blazers.
Well,
But-
yeah, but I mean, people do like him. People respect him. People like the audience does like to watch him play, but they won't put him top 50, top 75, top 100, maybe
Damn.
because of rings.
Damn.
I don't like it. Eh?
You know what's funny about I know it's kind of different, but Blazers is sponsored by Adidas when Nike headquarters, Nike birth is here. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, that's a different conversation. But I was talking about Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin.
Yes.
Did he get traded to the Raptors? I don't remember that. Lin Sanity.
He was with Toronto, yes. And then he also was with the Warriors, right? At the end. Or was it at the end? Now he's playing with somebody else.
He got pushed to a bunch of different teams.
Yeah.
I don't remember which ones.
But I remember, was it like, what year was it? I forgot what year was he when he just like, people were like, oh my God. I remember he was playing like really good. And then after that, it was just like one hit wonders.
Yeah, the poor guy. It was Linsanity. He had really good games. He had really good games, but for whatever reason, it didn't. I think he came back from an injury, and he wasn't the same anymore. I think that's what it was, but
Yeah.
it happens.
I know you don't watch soccer anime, but
Yeah, I
on
do.
Blue Lock, there's the red hair. I forgot his name, but in one of the episodes, he shut up. You don't even know who it is. But he's scared. He's like scared to go really fast because he's like a really fast soccer player.
And he
a
just want to
midfielder, I
get caught
think.
like Dash from The Incredibles.
No.
Oh.
But he got injured his ACL or something. And so he was scared. They told him, if you tear your ACL again, you're not gonna be able to play soccer no more. And he was scared. That was his chain. There was a chain holding his leg to go really fast. But he's like, fuck it, if I'm not gonna play full over here, I'm not gonna play full. So now he's like a really fast soccer player in the anime.
He's gonna
You're
gonna
not
rip his
no idea what the
ACL.
fuck, but I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure that's how some
Danny,
people
have you
feel
ever-
like it.
Dude, it's crazy. Look, trust me, I'm a professional basketball player. I once sprained my ankle. And then afterwards, after it got healed, I was like, oh no, I don't want to jump. I don't want to sprain it again. It's scary. What if I get it injured again?
You say wait.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Just
What?
keep going.
What were you gonna ask?
No, nothing.
Huh.
Do-
What?
no, you know what you should do? If you have a sprained ankle, you should do what they didn't want it. Do you remember the movie Wanted?
Yeah, I remember the movie.
What they
Wanted.
did
I
when they
remember
got
what did.
injured?
No.
They put their body full in wax, like a pool of wax. You remember?
I don't remember this.
Yeah, when they got injured, they put him. That's how they get recovered. They put him in a full pool of wax. So maybe this is what some of those basketball players should do. Those soccer players or any
I remember
sports player.
I don't think people. There's a deep cut. Brandon Roy, another Blazer player riddled by injuries, was so good, and people forget how good Brandon Roy was. But Danny, you don't know how close the Blazers have been, but they've been hit by bad luck with Damian Lillard, Brandon Roy, and Greg Oden. That's it. That's a triple threat that Offensively,
Yes, I do remember him. I do remember watching
Insane.
the games with him. Yes, he looks fat now. He's old, pues.
he's older now, but
Damn, you're right.
another player who's just injuries who destroyed
And
his
that's
future.
sad because you're like, who are you? It's like, oh, I'm Brandon Roy, and then it's like, oh yeah, oh okay. So you used to be a basketball player before?
Man, used to be a
Heartbreaking.
basketball player before.
Damn.
Heartbreaker. Danny, thank you for letting me take you down this sports stroll.
Hey
I
man.
wanted to get that out of my system before I go on this little trip. But Danny, let's finish off. Let's finish off strong with. Boom. I'm tired now, so let's just finish with last
Oh,
minute
last
joke
minute jokes.
with Danny.
The best sports you can play are the two balls you have in hand.
Junior out there nodding his head with a agreement. He's just like, yeah, this wasn't even a joke. This was just a fact. Let's change this to last minute facts with Danny. That's actually a fun one, Danny. Just give us a
Yeah.
fun fact of the day.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube videos. Don't forget to give it 5 stars on Spotify and anywhere you could give us 5 stars or whatever the most is. Stars.
Or
and
whatever that it is. Yeah, give it a thumbs up.
go on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and hit that notification button so you can find out every time we go live and catch us, because we like seeing comments. And Adrian, I see your comments, but I was too into my conversation. I was too into talking today. I don't know where this energy came from. I've been awake for close to 22 hours now.
Damn. You can do a sub. What's it called? What Twitch?
It's
People do
yes,
subathon,
subathon, whatever.
subathon.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch us on YouTube. We have fun there. I have fun there. Good night and good tangents.